Hello, here we are again, it's me again. This video is going to be about protective items, or some of the protective items I've bought. I've not got all the protective items I want, but I've got a fair amount of stuff. I've got a decent collection of stuff in should the need arise. Okay. As you can see, there's a fair amount of stuff on the table here. Various items, I believe, that could come in handy. And start with the ones in the middle, I reckon. Gloves. As I said before, gloves are really important items. Now, if you're looking for a glove, short-term glove, you might consider these. These are the sort of thing I work in. You see, most blokes in building sites have got these on nowadays, and they range in price from a couple of quid up to a tenner or whatever. You can go up to 20 quid, I suppose. But these ones, that's after 3 or 4 days work. And these ones I got from Wilson's. I found they're a decent glove for the price, about £3.50. And if you're looking for something for short-term hand protection, like to put in your EDC or your bug out bag or something like that, they're light, and they'll last you about a week or something, I reckon, for picking up bricks and rubble and basically protecting your hands, keeping your hands a bit on the warm side. But they're not going to protect you from thorns. Thorns will pierce them, so if you want protection from thorns and prickly things, you got to go for the leather, haven't you? Decent set of leather gloves. These ones I got from the council when I was helping them out for a bit. Great pair of leather gloves, lined on the inside. Good for taking things off the fire, putting things on the fire, cooking with, stuff like that. Got a few pairs. Here's an old pair. These were all split down and I repaired them. Great pair of old gloves. Made a few knives in them gloves. Work gloves, got some work gloves for the kids. Small pair of leather gloves. I cater for the family. I've got a large family, so I have to cater for everybody. So that's only a few of the pairs of gloves I got. Leather ones, I recommend the leather ones. I'll go with the leather ones every time. Especially this type of hard-wearing gardening glove. Then if you've got to move any corrosive materials, any wet stuff, these rubberized things are quite good. It's good to have a pair of them handy. Okay, next important thing is eyesight. You've got to be able to see where you're going, ain't you? If you can't see where you're going, you're in trouble. So some goggles. These are really cheap goggles, about £2.50. You go to Tesco's and them sort of places, and they've got those, you know, the hardware bits of Tesco's. You can get them from them. Sunglasses are protection safety glasses, and these safety glasses have got a bit of catapult rubber around the back to hold them on the back of your head. They're only about £5 a pair, and these are quite good because they adjust. They've got adjustable things, whatever you call them, earpieces, what do you call them, you know, adjustable bits there, up and down, such a thing. Cheap safety glasses. Once again, I've got a few pairs. This is only half of the pairs I got. Catering for all the family. Bits of debris flying around in the air. You can't see where you're going when your eyes are full of rubbish. Okay. Next thing I've got is these knee pads. Okay. Now these knee pads, these knee pads are made by Combat UK. Now a lot of the stuff you see around is a lot of pretendy stuff that are like fashion accessories. So you've got to find something that's going to do the job. Now, I can recommend these knee pads by Combat UK because I've been wearing them to work. Scooting around on the floor, scooting around on roofs, kneeling in all sorts of stuff. These have been absolutely brilliant. And I do have problems with my knees. If I knelt down all day on the floor without these on, I would not be at work again for another couple of weeks. I would have serious knee troubles. I have knee problems, and these have really helped me out a lot. In fact, without them, I wouldn't be able to work. Highly recommend Combat UK knee pads. They're as good as they look. They do the job. Okay, need a set of knee pads. Because if you're running around and you're having to dive on the floor, going down on your knees, scooting around on your knees on the floor, you're going to end up with bloody knees, nobbled, battered knees, and you don't want that. Stumbling on rocks and stuff. Just in case, you know what I mean? Extra bit of cover. The next thing we've got here is a sports box. A box for protecting your bits and bobs. A box for protecting your privates. Because as we all know, guys, a good swift kick in the nadgers and you're as good as finished. So one of these comes in really handy. Well, I've got a few pairs of these, as I say, for me boys as well. To be worn on the inside and not the outside, unless you want to look like Batman. And you don't want everybody around to think that you are Batman, do you really? Okay, over to here. I've got some riding helmets. Lightweight. I don't know what they're made of, but they're quite tough. I've sprayed them with some green spray paint. My Halford spray paint. They're lined with polystyrene. And they're quite good. Waterproof, light, sturdy, bricks flying around, good protection. I've also got one of these cheapies that you get from the Army and Navy store. Plastic, like a really tough plastic type thing. Now, it's going to do something. If somebody's going to lob a brick on somebody's head or a stone, it's going to stop you getting your head caved in. They're not bulletproof, but you know, stone proof, bottle proof, waterproof. Put a little camo cover on that one. Cheap and cheerful from your Army and Navy store, Army surplus store. Now, to go along with these things, but what I haven't got is, I would suggest some elbow pads and some shin pads. You don't have to have high-tech shin pads. You can have some football shin pads that you can just stuff down inside your football socks. Stops you from getting a decent kick or a batten of wood across your shins, which would absolutely make you want to vomit. So, elbow pads and shin pads. Now, over to the more heavy-duty side of things. I bought a couple of second-hand Kevlar helmets. Kevlar, amazing stuff. A couple of second-hand helmets off of eBay. The chin straps just about work, and I've put some covers on them. I have actually sprayed them green again. They're a bit battered, but Kevlar stuff's okay. See, a bit worn, but I didn't pay too much for them. I think they're about 35 quid each. I saw them on eBay and I thought they were a bargain, so I snapped them up. couple of decent Kevlar helmets. Put some covers on them as well. With the paint I've sprayed on, which has got a matte finish, you could either have it with the cover or without the cover. Okay, last but not least are these. I thought I'd snap up some of these before the prices go up. Old style flak jackets, stab jackets, whatever you want to call them. Okay, they adjust there, Velcro adjusters. In there, you've got a pocket on the front there that is for a Kevlar filler plate, a bulletproof Kevlar filler plate. The rest of this is not bulletproof, it's stab proof, spike and stab proof. There's another one on the back there which will take another Kevlar bulletproof, but I haven't bothered with the bulletproof plates because at the moment I'm just thinking about spikes and stabs, especially when you're out in the streets, especially with the way things are becoming nowadays in and around cities and stuff like that, especially with the type of people that are amassing and getting ready to do their business on us. So it's good to be prepared for them because it's going to happen. Okay, if I should get any difficulties and I've got to have to deal with any nut jobs on the premises or outside the premises, or if somebody should be in trouble somewhere and I've got to deal with some nutty nut jobs, I bought two. Okay, so that one of my sons or anybody else could help me, because if you're going to have to deal with some crazies, you don't want to have to deal with them by yourself. And the more protection that you can get for you and your partner, whoever that may be, the better, I believe. Okay, I just want to show you a few specs about Kevlar to show you how great Kevlar is. Okay, just a couple of things really. Kevlar has basically an unlimited shelf life. There's only one thing that's going to change the constitution or the makeup of Kevlar, and that is extreme heat. But we are talking about extreme heat. Other than that, it keeps its shelf life indefinitely. And also, its tensile strength to weight ratio, it is 5 times stronger than steel. So compared to steel, by the weight, it is 5 times stronger. That's great, that is amazing. And it was invented by this woman, Stephanie Kwolek, who's from Poland, an American-Polish chemist, in case you wanted to know that. And even if you didn't want to know that, there you go. Well done, Stephanie. Okay, well that'll do really about Kevlar. Oh, while we're here, I just want to show you my choice of reading at the moment. It's Another Man's War by the man known as the Machine Gun Preacher. Now this man is the real deal. This man was an ex-biker who used to go around robbing drug dealers. He was a hard ass. And he got saved, built his own church house, started his own fellowship, went to Africa to see what was going on, and he said, I only expected to go there for a visit and I ended up there for good, and he's still doing it. He rescues Sudanese children. I think he started off with about 600, and now I believe, I hope I'm right, he's got about 4,000. Now this man doesn't mess about. If children need rescuing, he goes and rescues them, and if anybody gets in the way, he takes them out of the way. And if anybody threatens his children, he makes sure they don't do it again. Okay. I really rate this man, Sam Childers. Now there's a film that you can get called The Machine Gun Preacher. Which is basically just to promote his mission. When I first saw The Machine Gun Preacher as a movie, I didn't even know about him. When I first saw the advertisement for Machine Gun Preacher, I just thought, this is another load of gratuitous violence trying to pose itself off in some kind of Christian, you know what I mean, mask or something like that. You know, trying to make out it's Christian, but you know, it's just an excuse for gratuitous violence. Excuse me while I straighten the camera. But somebody recommended that I watched it, and I watched it, and it is not. It introduced me to the real man. And this is the type of Christian man that I can appreciate. Because he loves the children. He loves those Sudanese children. And he's been facing life and death on a daily basis for many years in order to help them. Hats off to you, my brother, Sam Childers. From strength to strength, I pray for you in the name of Yeshua. You can Google him and find all out about him. Watch the film Machine Gun Preacher, and you'll see where this man's coming from. And if you fancy, you can even send him some money. Okay, just one thing to show you before I depart. These I got off eBay, about 50 quid each. You can get them with the Kevlar plates. You're going to pay about 100 quid. Or maybe you can get a better deal than that. So, being as I've not got a Kevlar plate, this is a perfect size for a Bible. Tell you what, I've got the meanest Bible case in the UK.